I make an average of $20,000 per month selling digital products, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But here's the thing, I'm not using Etsy and I'm not using Amazon. And in this video, I'll reveal the exact system I've used over the last decade to bring in consistent 5-figure months. Stay to the end and you'll have a clear roadmap to create your own digital products business that can give you both time and financial freedom. So let's get into it. Now, first, let's cover exactly what digital products are and more importantly, why you should sell them. So digital products are things like ebooks, courses, templates, PDFs, guides, spreadsheets. Basically, anything you can create once and sell infinitely without any physical product cost or shipping. Now, the beauty of digital products is that they are infinitely scalable and they come with almost zero overhead. So you literally create something valuable once and you can sell it thousands and thousands of times over without any additional work. There's no inventory management, there's no shipping headaches, there's no supply chain problems. Now, of course, there is some work to do. You have to create content, you have to create the products, build the business, and you have to show up. But the outcome, the money and the freedom is no longer tied to time. So you're not capped by how many hours you can work anymore. Now, as a busy parent, I've always wanted a business model that would give me the freedom to be fully present for my family while still generating the level of income that I want. And selling digital products has done exactly that. Now, you can create that same freedom for yourself, where time, money, and family don't have to compete. Because let's be honest, trading your time for money can be exhausting, especially when you have a busy life and a family. Okay, now let's talk about why you shouldn't sell on Etsy. Now, I know this is probably a bit controversial, but here's the biggest misconception when it comes to digital products. Just upload them to Etsy and they'll sell. I've lost count of the number of frustrated people I've spoken to who have done exactly that and they've made exactly zero sales. And why is that? Because Etsy is extremely saturated. Now, don't get me wrong, years ago, Etsy was actually a pretty good place to start. You could upload your product and you could get organic traffic almost instantly. But those days are long gone. Now, you have to pay for ads just to get your product seen. The harsh reality is that standing out on Etsy is both expensive and inefficient. You're competing with established sellers who have been there for years. And unfortunately, the way the platform's algorithm works is it means that they get favored heavily in the organic rankings. So let me be crystal clear. If you're just starting out with digital products, do not rely on Etsy as your main sales channel. So if Etsy or Amazon aren't the answer, then what's the alternative? Well, the answer is simple but powerful. Build your own audience. Now, I can already hear the objection, but I don't have a following. Listen, here's the truth. No one starts with a following. Everyone begins at zero. The difference between success and failure is simply making the decision to start posting content. Yes, growing a following is hard. But you know what else is hard? Trying to sell on Etsy. Trying to compete on Amazon against experienced sellers with much deeper pockets than you. Trying to drive organic traffic to a Shopify store that nobody knows even exists. Anything worthwhile is going to take some grit and some determination. But you must understand that building your own audience leads to ownership and leverage. Now, these are two things that you'll never have on a third-party platform. When I started creating content, I started at zero, but I committed to consistently showing up, providing value, and being authentic. That's it. There's no magic formula, it's just persistence and value. And here's the beautiful part. When you build your own audience, you're not just creating potential customers. You're creating fans who trust you, who value your perspective, and who are far more likely to buy from you than some random browsers on Etsy. Okay, so if building your own audience is the answer, what platform should you focus on? Well, there are many that you can choose to build your audience. You've got Instagram, you've got TikTok, you've got Facebook, you've got LinkedIn. But I recommend that you start with YouTube, and here's why. YouTube isn't just a traffic source for your digital products, it's a complete business ecosystem. So when you create a YouTube video, 5 things happen. It drives sales for your digital product. It can generate AdSense revenue, so you earn money from the ads that show on your videos. It can attract brand deals. It can generate affiliate income. And finally, it builds your email list, which we'll cover shortly. Now there's 5 potential revenue streams from one piece of content. There's no other platform on the planet that offers this kind of leverage. And plus, YouTube has longevity. So a video that you create today can still be getting you views, leads, and even sales years later. You know, that kind of shelf life simply does not exist on other platforms like Instagram or TikTok, for example. And also, and this is one of my favorite things, you don't need to be hammering out content 24/7. You can publish 1, 2, 3 videos a week. And as long as you're consistent, your channel will keep growing, which ultimately ensures a steady flow of potential customers. Now, having said all of that, I completely understand that getting in front of a camera is just too much for some people. And this is why I teach an alternative faceless strategy using Facebook in my program Knowledge Profit Mastery. There's a link in the description where you can find out more. Now, let's talk about owning your audience with email. Now, here's a critical truth that many content creators miss. You don't own your YouTube or your Instagram or your TikTok accounts. Every single one of those platforms can change their algorithm overnight, which can restrict your reach, and they can even shut down your account. The only audience that you will ever truly own is your email list. Now, if YouTube disappeared tomorrow, I could still email my list and maintain my business. As email gets delivered directly to someone's inbox. You know, there's no algorithm deciding whether your message gets seen or not. So when I send an email to my list, nearly everyone receives it. And not only that, email is 40 times more effective at making sales than social media alone. That's not an exaggeration, that is a proven statistic. Now, I've had an email list since my early days on eBay, and it's been the backbone of every single successful venture I've ever launched. So let's talk about how to grow your email list step by step. So here's exactly how the system works. You want to publish 2 videos, if you can, on YouTube every week. And in each of those videos, you're going to promote your very own freebie. Now, as for figuring out what your freebie could be, I would suggest that you look at what your competition are doing. You can also ask ChatGPT, and you can even look on Etsy to see what products are available in your niche. But when your viewers sign up to get your freebie, they then become an email subscriber. But that's just the beginning, because once they're on your list, they will then enter what we call a welcome sequence. Now, this is where you provide helpful, free content that builds trust and demonstrates your expertise. Now, this part is crucial. You're not immediately trying to sell them anything. You're establishing a relationship. And after that initial welcome sequence, you can start offering your paid products. And the cycle just repeats. Now, the beauty of all of this is that it runs entirely on autopilot. Now, when you're at the beginning of this journey, you can start off with just a few automated emails from day one. But over time, you'll add more and more and increase the length of the sequence. But the important thing is that every single person who joins your list gets the same experience. Now, let's just return to Etsy for a few moments and have a look at the deeper reason why you should not be competing on the platform. Now, you might be thinking, but isn't there competition everywhere? Or why is Etsy specifically so bad? Well, yes, you're right. There is competition everywhere. And competition is usually a good thing. But here's the critical difference. When you build your own audience, you stand out by being you. Your personality is what differentiates you online. You know, there is only one of you. And Etsy strips away your uniqueness. Everyone's selling similar PDFs, and buyers cannot connect with you as a person. Now, with video content on YouTube, you are front and center. You are the face of the brand. People will resonate with you personally. And that builds trust and loyalty, which is impossible to replicate on Etsy. And when you're authentic, that is ultimately what brings viewers back. They don't always just return for new information. Sometimes they return just because they like you. Think about channels that you follow regularly. I bet you follow them not just for the content, but because you enjoy the creator's personality and perspective. Your uniqueness is your superpower in this business. So don't hide it behind an anonymous Etsy listing. So let's quickly recap everything we've covered. So we discussed why digital products. Well, you create them once and you sell them infinitely with little to no overhead. We discussed why you should be avoiding Etsy. It is a hugely oversaturated platform where you are just going to struggle to stand out. We looked at building your own audience, so owning your platform and showcasing your unique personality. We discussed why to focus on YouTube. There are multiple revenue streams available from just a single piece of content. And we touched on growing your email list, which at the end of the day is going to be the only audience that you ever truly own and control. So now you know how to create your own sustainable digital products business. Here's what you need to do next. Grab my free AI-powered niche finder tool to get clear on exactly what you can help others with. The link's in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one.